All right, today we're going to kind of do a little part of lesson 212, and we're going to talk about perimeter of algebra tiles. Now I'm going to go over this kind of quickly because we did do this last year, so just kind of a refresher. All right, the first thing is we want to try to find the perimeter of these algebra tiles. Now you guys are probably going to remember when we did this last year, I always had you guys go around the outside, and you need to label how long each of the sides are. So if you want to draw this out in your notebook or whatever, it might help you do this one. So just push pause whenever you need to. So I know this side right here, I know that's a length of 1. Okay, going across the top here, that would be a length of x. Okay, same thing down here, that would be x. Okay, you guys can kind of see how long do you think this part would be. That'd be y, that'd be y. This little part would be 1 and 1. Okay, so you've seen that before, so I'm going to kind of go through that quick. That's x, the top of this is 1, that would be 1. This length is y, that length's y. Again, a 1 and a 1. This whole length here is x, this length is x, and this little length here is 1. Okay, so that's the first thing you kind of have to do. Again, remember, perimeter means around the outside. So now, to find the perimeter of this whole thing, we need to kind of just add all this stuff up. So remember, I would kind of go through last year and I would cross out stuff as I used it. So let's start with the x's. I have 1x, 2x's, 3x's, 4x. So I'm going to write 4x. Plus, let's do our y's. I have 1y, 2y. So plus 2y. And then plus, let's do our normal numbers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus 6. So this would be an expression for the perimeter of those algebra tiles up there. Okay. All right, let's try another one then. All right, here's our next one. And again, if you want to draw this one, go ahead, draw it out, if that helps you. And we are going to find the perimeter again. So if we kind of take a look at this, you guys know across the bottom here, that's 1, 1, 1, 1. That's x, that's 1. So why don't we go ahead and label those. So it's x here, 1, 1. This is 1, this is 1, this is 1. Now here's where the hard part comes, and let's see if you guys can kind of remember this from last year. But how long is this piece? See this piece I'm pointing at here? How am I going to figure out how long that is? Now there were two ways that we kind of did that last year. So kind of bear with me as I go through them. The first way that a lot of kids liked is they thought, well, what if I would have put this and this together? So I should do it in a different color, sorry. What if I put this length and this length together? Wouldn't that make a whole length of x? So they just kind of wrote that as x, and you kind of got rid of that 1. Then you could go around and do the rest of it. So I should just kind of cross that out so you know. So I kind of got rid of that because if I took this and this, put it together, it'd make a whole length of x. Okay, so that's one way to do it. So if we did it that way, let's kind of add up our x's first. I have x and x, so that would be 2x. Plus, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2x plus 4. All right, so I'm going to erase and do it the other way that some people did it, that they might like to do it. Okay, so kind of got that same part back here. All right, so let's kind of look at this again. So I labeled the x 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So this length, another way to think of it is if I had this whole length, let me grab a different color. If I had this whole length, it'd be x. I almost have that, except I have this only to here. The whole length is x, but I have to subtract this little 1, so some people liked it as x minus 1. Now if I do this, let's kind of look. I still have x and x, which is 2x, plus I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take away 1 is 4. So I still got the same answer for my perimeter. It doesn't quite fit there, perimeter. All right, good. I have another one. Okay, now this one might be even a little more tricky, so we got to be careful. Okay, so let's kind of go around the outside and label what we know. So it's a y squared tile this time, so kind of think this length here, it has to be y by y, okay, to get y squared. So I know this is y, y, and y. Okay, this length here, well, that's x. It's an x tile. Here's another x. Okay, the 1 tile, it's 1 by 1 by 1. Ooh, and now I have two kind of tricky parts here that are a little more difficult. I have this length and this length. So this one is kind of really a challenging one. I want you to push pause, and I want you guys to see if you can figure out how would you do the perimeter of this. Then when you're ready, push play, and you'll see me go through it. All right, so here's how I would kind of think of this. Okay, I kind of like this way. If I took this and this together, those two pink lines, I know that would make an X. So I'm just going to label that X. So that means I have to get rid of this one. Okay, now the same thing, I kind of know if I take, watch what I'm underlining here, this, oh, I'll do it a different color, sorry. Let me grab a different color so we can see this better. All right, if I take this, now I'm doing it in orange, and this little length, okay, and this length that's left here, okay, that whole thing together, those three pieces together would just equal a Y. So now I can kind of get rid of this, and then that piece, all three of those pieces together would be a Y. So now let's kind of go through, and let me grab another color here one more time. We'll try yellow here. So if we go through, let's kind of put our Y's together. I have a Y, 1, 2, 3, 4 Y's it looks like. So I can do 4Y plus, let's see, I have an X and an X plus 2X. And then the ones, we could kind of have to see, I really only have one left. So that would be my perimeter for that one. All right, our last one, so you can see me do one more. Okay, so let's kind of go through and let's label what we know here. Okay, now this first one, it's kind of tricky. How do I know, is this the X length or the Y length? Well, if you look here, you see that this is the Y length. So this long piece, that's Y. I can label that. So the short pieces have to be X and X. Okay, across the top here, these are just ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Pretty easy. This length here, going across the bottom, that would be an X. Going across the top, that would be an X. Okay, now we have that one little chunk that's always kind of getting us. If I take this piece and this piece together, if I put those together, that equal the whole length here. That equal this whole length. If I take this yellow piece and this piece and make a whole Y together, so I can just write that as a Y. All right, so now if I put everything together, let's see what we get. If I put everything together, let's do our Y's first. We have 1, 2 Y. Those are done. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 X's plus 4 X's. Again, it helps if you cross stuff off as you use it. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6. So that would be the perimeter of those algebra tiles.